Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Brandon, and this is my show, Celestial Contact.
Methods, your theories are
spooky.
With the brand new UFO files that just got dropped, interest is brewing worldwide. So I thought I would give you a top 5 UFO movies and UFO TV shows that I think best represents the entire phenomenon, like real theories, real people, real events, so that if you're new to the subject, you can get a great overview through fictional movies. My number one pick will be Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And that's because it has, in my opinion, the best overview of all the UFO lore up until that point. So you had Jalen Hynek and Jacques Vallée, who were consultants on the film. For those that don't know, Jalen Hynek was a scientific consultant on Project Grudge, Project Sign, and Project Blue Book. He also later formed UFOs. And Jacques Vallée was this French computer scientist and astronomer that popularized the interdimensional theory. So you have a lot of good info, factual info brought into the film. Let's not forget that NASA wrote a 20-page letter to Spielberg saying that this film was a dangerous idea. The same NASA that said they don't have anything on UFOs, but recently just dropped and declassified some UFO photos. So my second pick will be the TV show Taken, which also has some Steven Spielberg involvement. So Taken really goes from the 1940s all the way to more modern abduction stories. So it goes from the Foo Fighters, you have Roswell, you have even like talks of telepathy, all the way to multi-generational abductions, the screen memories, stuff that like Bud Hopkins talks about. So really, as a TV show, it's the broadest overview of the entire phenomenon, and again, mostly based on things that actually happened. Now my next pick is actually pretty unconventional, and that's a series called Dark. It's a German show actually, and it doesn't have any UFOs or aliens, but it has a super important component to the phenomenon, and that's time. So there's this guy called Michael Masters who proposes the extratemporal theory, which is basically that extraterrestrials are actually future humans. They're basically us from the future coming back to study ourselves. And the TV show Dark kind of matches the best with his model of time travel. So once you understand the way time travel works with this show, it matches the best with his theory, which in all honesty, in his great book, Identified Flying Objects, it's pretty solid. So my fourth pick will be The Abyss. And I really love The Abyss because it covers the topic of USOs and a nuclear connection. So recently with Whistleblowers, we've heard a lot about USOs, and we've heard also about baiting UFOs with nuclear materials. So this film is still very relevant today. Now, my last pick will be Star Trek, and more specifically Star Trek The Next Generation. And this is because between the original run of Star Trek and Star Trek The Next Generation, Gene Roddenberry partook in channeling sessions, and more specifically, channeling sessions that was in contact with the group called the Nine. And the Nine was supposedly this extraterrestrial intelligence. So in my opinion, we do see this bleed out in some episodes of The Next Generation. We do see episodes where Picard, for example, gets replaced with an extraterrestrial intelligence to communicate with people on the Enterprise. So this like channeling thing kind of gets brought up in episodes. We also see episodes where an extraterrestrial comes into the Enterprise and makes the Enterprise travel galaxies away with just his mind. And in the UFO stories, we do see this come up where aliens are connected directly to their craft, and that is what makes them travel. We also have an episode referencing Roswell in a parody fashion. So we do know that whoever was involved other than Gene was also very privy to UFO stories. Now, to conclude, I will mention 2 films that are still very important in my opinion, and that is Flight of the Navigator and Contact. And I know some people might say, why didn't you mention Fire in the Sky or Communion? Well, that's because I truly believe that Communion, the original source material, the book, is way better than the film. And as far as Travis Walton's story, I do find that Fire in the Sky kind of fictionalized it too much, trying to make it seem like the aliens were very rough with him, and that doesn't really reflect the true story. So that's why I left these two out. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.